Hello, good morning everyone. This is Ishwar from Triple E branch. Today we are going to learn about listening warm up. This is introduction. Fitness coaches always stress the importance of warming up. It not only prevents injury, it also gets athletes' bodies prepared for the strenuous activity to come. When it comes to listening exercises, it's still very important to allow the class to warm up. A listening activity can be quite strenuous for some students, and a good warm-up will make the listening task less confusing and more effective. What is listening? To listen is to give attention to sound or action. When listening, one is hearing what others are saying and trying to understand what it means. The act of listening involves complex, effective cognitive and behavioral process. So this is the definition of listening. And 7 warm-up exercises for better listening. They are short reading, speak from experience, predictions, read the title, sound intro, picture introduction, word association. First one you are going to read short reading. One of the obstacles you encounter in listening activities is getting students interested in what they have to listen to. If there is no real interest, chances are they won't really listen. One of the ways of generating this interest is by introducing the topic in a way that is engaging and effective. You can have them read the first few lines of a conversation, predict what will happen next, and then listen to the rest. Or you could have students read some background information about a product, company, or person before the actual listening task. So, this is about short reading. And second is speak from experience. Another great way to get students warm up for a listening task is to test their previous knowledge about the topic that will be covered in the listening. For example, if the audio is two people talking about adventure sports like whitewater rafting, caving, or mountain climbing, ask students if they have even tried any of these sports, which ones they like to try, and why. Third one is predictions. This is a great way to get students to anticipate a topic, issue, or situation. Reveal some of the facts or information that is presented in first 30 to 60 seconds of the audio. For instance, say a man tells a friend he has just returned from his vacation. What questions do you think his friend might ask? Students may then brainstorm a series of questions that you can write down on the board. After the listening, students compare their questions to what was actually asked. Next, read the title. Ask students to read the title of the chapter, section, or exercise. For example, say the title is Putting Your Best Foot Forward. Ask your class, what does it mean to put your best foot forward? Have them supply some examples of what that would be. In which situations is it important to put your best foot forward? This warm-up is perfect for titles that include phrasal verbs or expressions that students are not familiar with. This not only prepares them for what the listening will be about, it also teaches them new vocabulary. Fifth is sound intro. Before running or doing exercise, we have to stretch our muscles. Have students stretch their listening muscle by listening to one or several short audio cues. They will have to listen to a conversation that takes place in a restaurant. Play a short audio track of restaurant background noise, no talking, just the noise, and have them guess the place. It will be the best warm up, I think. You can also play city noises like an ambulance or police car, birds chirping, ocean waves, or any type of noise. By planning the background noise that corresponds to the scene, you are placing your students in that scene and thus effectively preparing them for the conversation that will follow. Next one is picture intro. The picture warm-up is ideal for visual learners. Simply show them a picture that relates to the topic or situation covered in the listening. Again, say they'll hear a conversation taking place at a restaurant. Show them a picture of two people eating at a restaurant. Have them describe the scene to you. Where are they? What are they talking about? What is the relationship between them? This is how we have to do it with picture intro. This is also best warm up for listening. And the seventh one is word association. Let's suppose your class will be listening to someone describing how a particular holiday is celebrated in their country. Say it's a holiday like Christmas. Ask your class to write down 5 words or ideas that they associate with this holiday. A student list may look like this: family, turkey, presents, singing, celebrating. Students share their individual lists and then listen to see if any of the things they wrote down are mentioned. This is also. Next, 10 steps to effective listening. These are the 10 steps which we have to do for effective listening. First, face the speaker and maintain eye contact. Be attentive but relaxed. Keep an open mind. Listen to the words and try to picture what the speaker is saying. Don't interrupt and don't impose solutions. Your solutions. Wait for the speaker to pause to ask clarifying doubts. Questions. Ask questions only to ensure understanding. Try to feel what the speaker is feeling. Give the speaker regular feedback. Pay attention to what isn't said to nonverbal clues. First, face the speaker and maintain eye contact. Eye contact occurs when two people look at each other's eyes at the same time. Eye contact is a form of nonverbal communication and is thought to have a large influence on social behavior. Eye contact provides some of the strongest emotions during a social conversation. It provides details and emotions and intentions. Prolonged eye contact can tell someone you are interested in what they have to say. Next, second one is be attentive but relaxed. You don't have to stare fixedly at the speaker. You can look away now and then and carry on like a normal person. The important thing is to be attentive. Attend means be present, give attention, apply or direct yourself, pay attention. Mentally screen out distractions like background activities and noises. In addition, try not to focus on the speaker's accent or speech mannerisms to the point where they become distractions. Most of most of you for students focus on these speakers' speech mannerisms, so where they will lose the distractions and concentration on what the speaker is saying. So try not to focus on the mannerisms. Finally, don't be distracted by your own thoughts, feelings, or biases. Next is keep an open mind. Listen without judging the speaker or mentally criticizing the things he tells you. Listen without jumping to conclusions. remember that the speaker is using language to represent the thoughts and feelings inside blind. You don't know what those thoughts and feelings are, and the only way you will find out is by listening. Don't be a sentence grabber. Fourth one is listen to the words and try to picture what the speaker is saying. Allow your mind to create a mental model of the information being communicated. Whether a literal picture or an arrangement of abstract concepts, your brain will do the necessary work if you stay focused, with senses fully alert. Don't spend the time planning what to say next. You can't rehearse or listen at the same time. Concentrate on what is being said, even if it bores you. If your thoughts start to wander, immediately force yourself to refocus. Please don't interrupt and don't impose your solutions. Children use to be taught that it's rude to interrupt. If you are a quick thinker and an agile talker, the burden is on you to relax your pace for slower, more thoughtful communicator or for the guy who has trouble expressing himself. When listening to someone talk about a problem, different from suggesting solutions, most of us prefer to figure out our own solutions. If you are absolutely bursting with a brilliant solution, at least get the speaker's permission. Ask, would you like to hear my ideas? This is the way which you have to ask permissions for the speaker. Next one is wait for the speaker to pause to ask clarifying questions. When you don't understand something, of course you should ask the speaker to explain it to you. But rather than interrupt, wait until the speaker pauses. Then say something like, back up a second. I didn't understand what you just said about. When the speaker is explaining something, you should not interrupt in middle. Wait for the speaker up. Wait for the speaker when he asks about the doubts. Next, seventh one is ask questions only to ensure understanding. At lunch, a colleague is excitedly telling you about her trip to Goa and all the wonderful things he did and saw. In the course of this chronicle, he mentions that he spent some time with a mutual friend. This particular conversational affront happens all the time. When you notice that your questions led the speaker astray, take responsibility for getting the conversation back on track by saying something like, it was great to hear about Alice, but tell me more about your adventure in Goa. Next one is try to feel what the speaker is feeling. Empathy is the heart and soul of good listening. To experience empathy, you have to put yourself in the other person's place and allow yourself to feel what it is like to be here at that moment. This is not an easy thing to do. It takes energy and concentration. But it is a generous and helpful thing to do, and it facilitates common communication like nothing else does. Ninth one is give the speaker regular feedback. Show that you understand where the speaker is coming from by reflecting the speaker's feelings. If the speaker's feelings are unclear, then occasionally paraphrase the content of the message or just nod and show your understanding through appropriate facial expressions and an occasional well-timed or woohoo. The idea is to give the speaker some proof that you are listening and that you are a following speaker train of thought, not of indulging in your own fantasies while speaker talks to the ether. Always restate instructions and messages to be sure to understand correctly. Lastly, pay attention to what isn't said to nonverbal clues. The majority of direct communication is probably nonverbal. Even over the telephone, you can learn almost as much about a person from the tone and cadence of his voice than from anything he says. Face to face with a person, you can detect enthusiasm, boredom, or irritation very quickly in the expression around the eyes. When listening, remember that words convey only a fraction of the message. 5 English listening activities: Dictogloss, Listen and Throw, Minimal Pace, Movie Vocabulary, Song Gap Fill. First is Dictogloss. Dictogloss is a simple activity to use for advanced learners. The teacher tells an interesting story to the students and they have to memorize it. After that, you put them into groups and they have to retell the story using their own words. After that, you can break them up and make new groups and they have to retell the story in those groups. A good idea is to record yourself when you tell the story the first time to show the original at the end. This is a fun activity because students practice their listening skills and they learn how to substitute different words and keep the meaning intact. Second activity is listen and throw. Split the class into teams and hand each team a different color paper. Students roll it up into balls which they will use to answer. Within front of the class, you put three bins A, B, C. Then you play the audio and as soon as the students hear the answer, they have to throw the ball into whichever answer it is. It doesn't matter that they win or lose. They actually do something active, which is great. Minimal pace. Have a set of cards printed out for all these troublesome words. Divide the class into two teams and let them line up. You will say the word and each then one student in front from each team has to quickly find the card and lift it up. You can also make it a little bit more difficult by using the word in a sentence and then they have to search around, pick up the card and show it and the team gets a point. Fourth one is movie vocabulary. Find a movie clip and watch it for interesting vocabulary that you write down. Then make a list of all these interesting words that you can hand to the students while they are watching this video clip. They have to check what words they hear. Afterwards, you can discuss it with the students to find the meaning and use it in sentences. Last one is song gap fill. Songs are a great way to engage latent learners, so why not use the most recent pop song? Give each student or pairs of students the song lyrics with some missing words. Students listen to the song and they have to write in the correct lyric. To make it easier, you can have a box with a list of missing words at the top of the page. Play the song and pause if necessary. The aim is for the students to fill in the missing words. At the end you go through the song and you see which students have all the words correct and you can also go over the meaning of these words. So these 5 activities improve your learning or listening. Thank you.